and welcome back to another Redesigning Yandere simulator characters. I wasn't expecting for people to like the series as much as they do, and honestly, I'm kind of glad because this whole series has been an absolute blast for me. I have definitely been learning a lot from you guys, from potential concepts to use in the future, to tips that can help me better my designs. Like always, I threw up a poll on my community tab and asked you guys, who would you like to see me redesign next? A lot of you chose Osuro, Hanako, and Megami, but unfortunately, I'm not going to listen to the poll today. I decided that it would be the best to redesign some of the most problematic rivals in the game. Yes, I said it plurally. It's the Yandere dev we're talking about. I feel like these characters have the most issues, both personality and design-wise. The characters that I'm talking about is Hanako Yamada, Mida Rana, and Muja Kina. Yeah, now that I think about these characters, they're all kind of tropes of a certain adult entertainment genre, but hey, let's try to not assume the worst. Anyways, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get on to the redesigning. Mida Rana is the 7th rival, and her main role is as a substitute teacher during that week. Her whole hobby is, get this, seducing schoolboys. Well, that's not predatory at all. I know Yandere Dev has brought up this whole controversy in a previous video where he said, this is perfectly fine because, senpai is 18 after all. Well, hypothetically, this is true under law. It's still super creepy to have a teacher preying on their students. There's also a possible power dynamic involved. People get arrested and fired because of this for a reason. This logic also applies to Muja too. To be honest with you, having a teacher rival can work. It's a little weird, but as long as we fix that whole preying on schoolboy story, we should be fine. If you haven't watched my last video, which the link will be in the description, I ended up redesigning Senpai and attempted to give him a personality where he's kind of confused about his life and not really sure what to do. This is where my whole concept takes place. I imagine Mida to be Senpai's homeroom teacher or just one of his teachers. Due to the previous weeks of rivals disappearing, things not working out, and etc., Senpai starts failing in that particular class. Mida takes note of this and starts talking to him. During this time, Senpai is going to start tutoring with Mida and hopes to keep his grades up. This could be during lunchtime or after school. To make things a little harder, if Yandere-chan interferes too quickly, Senpai can fail his classes, get kicked out of school, and etc. Maybe something that Yandere-chan can do to possibly open up an opportunity to be alone with both of them is to purposely start failing her classes in order to get into their study sessions. This is another thing that I'm kind of just throwing out there, considering that, these rivals are supposed to be hard and shit. But if you still need ways to eliminate them, maybe Mida can have a mother or a sister in the hospital, and Yandere-chan can do something with that, like bribing a corrupt nurse or doctor to cause some issues. I feel like the story is more logical and kind of fits the whole vision I had going on for Senpai. Now it's time to actually talk about the design. The original design, wasn't that bad. It fit the whole entire porno mindset, so I knew I had to change it. Also, no way in hell you could tell me that she would be able to dress like this in a school setting. You can get in trouble for the most stupidest things, but I guess since she isn't exposing her shoulders, it isn't a big deal to the professional dress code around these parts. So firstly, I kind of just wanted to remove the very suggestive clothing. I put her in a red dress with a black jacket and just some regular tights and flats. Even though I removed the whole romantic aspect between her and Senpai's relationship, I still want to make her look attractive and kind of curvy in a way. I didn't mind that about her original design, so she still has cleavage and she's still a little heavy on makeup. I really thought the black and the red looked really good together, but I also threw in a gold color with her jewelry, so you have a third color in there. I'm going to be rambling for a little bit because I know a lot of you guys tend to listen to these videos for more of the commentary aspect rather than just, sitting down and watching a speed paint. I felt really bad how in the last video there was huge gaps of silence, and it was on the longer side. The main thing I want to address is why I didn't follow the poll this time around. Normally, I really like having my audience involved in my videos. They contribute a lot to the process, so when I made the poll, I got nervous about the popular choice. As much as I dislike Yandere Simulator and what it has become, I do think that the game does hold some pretty good character designs. Let's just forget that most of the characters are probably rip-off of better characters or just plain old Unity assets. I do apologize for not going through with the polls this time around. Hopefully, if the series continues, I can muster up the courage to do some of the more better designs. Kind of a huge topic jump, but actually last video I was informed that there was an Yandere Simulator art contest that Yandere Dev is hosting with Medibang, and I found that to be really interesting. A lot of people told me to join it, and I'm honestly not sure if I am, but the prizes to me were absolutely funny. First place, you get Yandere Simulator merch, and I believe you also get to like design a character in the game. Second place, you also get merch and you get to design like a plushie or something, and like third place, you just get merch. And I was joking with my friends saying that I was going to try hard and getting at least into the top 3, which that wouldn't happen, trust me. And I was going to try getting the fucking Yandere Simulator body pillow that he has for some reason and burn it or something. It's just like, this whole art contest just seems bizarre to me. If you go onto it, and I'll leave a link in the description if you guys are interested in checking it out, like, you actually see some good art that people have made, but then you see like stolen art, you see love letter art, and you see like joke art, and I kind of feel bad, but I kind of don't, because I think it's kind of funny. The whole contest like ends in April, so it will be interesting to see what the outcome is of it. Next rival we have is Muja Kina. She's supposed to be a substitute nurse who is known to be very clumsy and ditzy, and then falls in love with Senpai. Man, I really fucking hate this game. I don't know why Yandere Simulator fans try to defend like stories like this. It's just like, it's creepy. Like, why did we have to have adult rivals? So now let's talk about some adjustments I made to her whole story. I could imagine that maybe Muja is a nurse in training who is currently shadowing the actual school nurse. I imagine Senpai facing a lot of stress, whether that be from the previous week's events or him coming closer to graduating. I imagine Muja to almost be taking on a motherly role and be very concerned about Senpai and his stress levels. Some obstacles that can form is if Senpai gets more stress, this can be triggered through events or mistakes that the player can make. Muja will call his mother or something and potentially send him home. Similar to what I planned out with Mida, I imagine Yandere-chan can also fake being sick in order to get into the nurse's office to potentially eliminate her. Yandere-chan would purposely have to do things to make her appear sick, like messing with a thermometer, fake throwing up, because if she gets caught, she can get sent to the guidance counselor and potentially face consequences. Another option of potentially eliminating her is to also take advantage of her ditziness. I imagine since she is trained to become a nurse, it is critical for her to not make mistakes, and you could potentially tamper around with the medication, causing your patients to get sick and leading her to get fired. But you have to be careful because potentially that medication that you tamper can affect Senpai. Now let's talk about her design. To be honest, I really like her current design. I've always been a killer of that whole pastel nurse aesthetic, but like I said with Mida, it still screams porno. If you look at the actual official nurse, you can see the main differences is that the dress she's wearing is a lot longer and the character is a lot less bustier. Personally, I don't mind characters being curvy. I don't get the whole stigmatism just because a character has big boobs that's sexual, but more or less it's how she's wearing the clothing. You can tell Yandere Dev wanted her to be very sexualized. For her design, I just wanted to make her look a little bit more professional, let's just say that. I gave her a dress that is a little less revealing, and I also added a little bit more pink accents in there. I also gave her some pink gloves and some pink tights and some white flats. To be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this design aspect that I added in, but I also gave her a tan cardigan. I just kind of wanted to separate that pink because there is a lot of pink in her character design. Something else I want to bring up just to kind of, fill some time was this old fixing art thread on Tumblr a while ago. They went through one of the artists who worked on Yandere Dev's artwork and pretty much tried to fix their art. Man, it was just horrible. Like, this person absolutely hated the idea of any of the characters having boobs. It was just a wild ride, to be honest with you. I do understand the whole testament of how a lot of characters in the game are sexualized. I know one of the rivals, Oka, actually has an official body pillow. I honestly want to know if anyone ever bought it, because I'm pretty sure Yandere Dev has one or something. Apparently, most of the students are supposed to be over the age of 18, but that seems like a shitty excuse. Like, why is everybody in this one school 18? I think it was honestly to just reflect any of the backlash he received because of this. The final rival we're going to be taking a look at is Hanako, Senpai's sister. I always thought it was pretty weird to have his sister in the lineup, also with the adults. Considering on how he's kind of making it out to be, gave me incest vibes, okay? Also, I could never tell how old she was supposed to be. I think she was supposed to be like 17 or so. It's all just very confusing, and I was never sure what Yandere Dev's true intentions with this character were. So here's my idea. I imagine Hanako being a lot younger. Maybe this could be her first year starting high school. She is very nervous and she tries clinging with her older brother because in general she is a pretty shy girl. I think a huge obstacle that Yandere Dev could implement for this character is not allowing the player to murder her. I would imagine that it would cause a lot of stress to Senpai, pretty much giving you a game over, so the player is going to have to be a lot more creative in means to get rid of her. The player can do tasks for various people and maybe try asking them to befriend Hanako. Hanako will start to loosen up a bit and stop hanging out with Senpai. Or maybe the player directly can befriend her and make her go into a club or something. Depending on what the player does, like maybe killing someone in Hanako's class, can cause her to get closer to Senpai. If things go really wrong, both of them might transfer schools or move away, causing a game over. Her design kind of had a similar issue with Senpai. She just kind of looked bland. So my main goal was to try giving her a little bit more personality. First of all, I wanted to make her look a bit younger, so I made her shorter and lankier. Even though I believe that she's kind of like a shy person, once you get to know her, she is really bubbly and friendly, so I kind of wanted to give her a pose to reflect that. Also, it's a return of the blue and gold bow. I added it onto Rivaru's design, but over time I really disliked it, so I removed it from the other rivals. But to be honest with you, I don't think it looks bad here. Something I want to bring up is that how over time I really start to hate some of the old designs that I did. Like, I feel like the Rivaru design still has a lot more potential that I wasted, and maybe I have to revisit it one day. I really wish that I added more charms to her and made her match Osana a little bit more. I feel like I was afraid of that, considering that I thought Rivaru was a direct copy of Osana in the first place. So I feel like over time these designs don't age well. I feel like I still like Senpai's design. The main thing I would probably change though is his hairstyle, because I felt like it didn't match his personality, and a lot of people pointed that out in the comments. But hey, I still feel like I have a lot to learn when it comes to character design. Also, apologies, but small self-promo. If you're interested in seeing the finished art for these designs, I know I hypothetically do show them in the videos, but if you want to see better quality ones, you can find them on my various social media accounts linked in the description. here are the 3 finished designs. I don't think they came out that bad, to be honest with you. Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below on these designs, and maybe even share your ideas for some of these rivals. Also, make sure to let me know if you want to see another one of these redesign videos by liking, commenting, or subscribing. Anyways guys, thank you all for watching, and goodbye.